So much to learn and battles to be won. I've advanced so far and still there's always more to come. Take a step and I'm on my way. Gonna start all over again. I wanna be a hero. Pokemon Advance. I'm on my way. I wanna be a hero. Give it just one chance. In the future we'll decide if there's a hero buried deep inside. I wanna be a hero. Pokemon. A kid from Pallet Town with a brand new world to see. Pokemon. It's a battle, win or lose. It's the friends you make, it's the road you choose. You got the right stuff, so make your mind up. Find the courage inside of you. If you're strong, you'll survive and you'll keep your dream alive. It's the battle frontier. Pokemon, be the best you can be and find your destiny. It's the master plan. The power's in your hand. Pokemon. You've got the strength to win it, so stay in it. If you're smart, you can take it all. If you're strong, you'll survive and you'll keep your dream alive. It's the battle frontier. Pokemon, be the best you can be and find your destiny. It's the master plan. It's the master plan. The power's in your hand. Pokemon. Pokemon Johto. Everybody wants to be a master. Everybody wants to show their skills. Everybody wants to get there faster. Make their way to the top of the hill. Each time you try, gonna get just a little bit better. Each step you climb, one more step up the ladder. It's a whole new world we live in. It's a whole new way to see. It's a whole new place with a brand new attitude, but you still gotta catch 'em all. Be the best that you can be. Pokemon Johto. Everybody wants to make a statement. Everybody needs to carve their mark. To stand alone in the victory circle. Stick the claim when the music starts. Give it all you got. You can be the very best ever. Take your best shot, and what you learn will come together. It's a whole new world we live in. It's a whole new way to see. It's a whole new place with a brand new attitude, but you still gotta catch 'em all. Be the best that you can be. Pokemon Johto. It's a whole new world we live in. It's a whole new way to see. It's a whole new place with a brand new attitude. But you still gotta catch 'em all. Be the best that you can be. Pokemon Johto.
Hello, YouTube. This is Melantart VA.
And this is Sakuya Amano.
And welcome to our live discussion of all 23 Pokemon movies, soon to be 24, with Secret of the Jungle coming out.
So, buckle up, friends. It's gonna get intense.
Okay, so first off, shall we talk about the first movie first? Mewtwo Strikes Back?
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, first, we should probably explain how we're going to do this. So we're going to be talking about our positives and our negatives, and then our overall thoughts of the movie. That sound fair to you, Sakuya?
Yeah.
Okay, so first, let's start with the positives of Mewtwo Strikes Back. Would you like to go first?
For me, personally, I think the biggest, positive for Mewtwo Strikes Back would have to be, one, a lot of the jokes definitely land, and they still hold up pretty well to this day.
Okay.
And the fact that the movie has some amazing music.
Okay, for me, the positives, I would have to agree with that, and also, it's not in 3D, but we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
Okay, now for the cons. Can I go first?
Yeah.
It's bullshit moral it tried to teach. Can we agree that that was some bullshit?
Oh, yeah.
And also... sorry?
It felt like there was a good moral, but it felt like they kind of bungled it.
Yep, and also, the biggest con that 4Kids did was essentially cutting out essentially the prologue with Dr. Fuji's daughter, Amber. It was meant to justify Mewtwo's behavior, but no, they cut it out. And as such, it created a gigantic plot hole.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's but 4Kids, we can't have death in a kids movie.
Yep, and now overall thoughts. It's worth checking out, but it's not necessary to check out.
Yeah, honestly... Well, it has a lot of good points. It definitely suffers from first movie syndrome.
Yep. Next up, 2000. I know you're excited to talk about this one, Sakuya. Would you like to go first again?
Oh, yeah, because Pokemon the Movie 2000 is my personal favorite movie.
All right, so let's start with the positives of 2000. And also, hello, Omega and Vexing. Glad to have you here.
Okay, for one, the positives. One, the design of Lugia. I love that design.
Okay, even though that design came from the games, but okay.
Yeah, but it's I don't know, they just made him look really good. And also, the voice actor for Lugia was spot on, and it's a shame that was his only role.
Yeah. Well, not true. He did appear at the end of The Power of Us, but we're going to get to The Power of Us.
Anyway, yeah, it's also, I feel like it definitely handled the point of I feel like it kind of handled the lesson a little better than the first movie did.
Mm-hmm.
And also just there's so much more I could gush about.
Out. You get one more thing because we do have to move on.
Basically, also just I feel like a lot of the voice actors they kind of picked for a lot of the characters, like Slowking and everything, were really good.
Wow, I'm surprised you didn't pick the one thing you're always gushing to me about.
Oh yeah, and Lugia's theme.
Okay, for me, the positives. How they handled the prophecy, purely because there's two meanings, and I appreciate that it wasn't immediately seen as oh wait, your name is Ash? Okay, go save the world! Whoa.
Yeah,
to me, that was really good.
Yeah, and thus the Earth shall turn to ash was kind of unclear what it meant.
If you think about it, it's two different meanings. Number one could be...
The world's gonna get fucked over.
Yep, or two, we need someone literally named Ash to save the world.
Yeah.
And now for the negatives. I want to go first. The fucking poke shipping teasing. No. Especially since it was dub-only lines. That was never in the sub. So 4Kids, can we stop with the poke shipping teasing? It's not gonna happen. Sakuya, what's your negatives about the movie, if you have any?
Well, one, I'm going to agree with you on the kind of awkward and forced kind of pokey shipping.
Okay.
And two words, Lawrence the Third.
That's technically 3, but I agree. Lawrence the Third was boring as a villain. And he didn't learn anything.
He was the most predictable villain. He learned nothing. And the fact that he just had such a stupid motivation.
Yeah, but...
And also the whole, like... I'm sorry to say, because, like... this I feel like could be more of a neutral, but...
Go
also
ahead.
the fact that Ash ended up saving the world the very last possible moment.
Yep. And let's see, from Omega. I know you two talk about Pokemon the first movie. I think I hear fans make a theory about this. What happened if Mewtwo made a clone of Ash and can't bring the real Ash back to life? What you think about that? No.
I doubt it. I doubt it because, like, you saw in the movie that the Tears of the Pokemon were able to bring Ash back to life.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Final thoughts on 2000. It's worth checking out. Just don't think about it too hard and don't get your hopes up for shipping.
Yeah, basically just enjoy the movie for what it is.
Yep, and now it's time to talk about one of my favorites. Pokemon 3, Secret of the Unknown. I love this movie. Okay, can I go first with the positives this time?
Yeah.
Okay, number 1. It's a serious plot, which, to quote Linkara, is basically Silent Hill for kids, and Molly was a great antagonist. Okay.
Oh, yeah, she kind of reminded me a little bit of, like, Dahlia Gillespie a little bit in that regard from Downhill.
Yeah, that's true. And, Sakuya, your turn to list a few positives, purely because I don't want to take up the whole video with just gushing.
Yeah, like, again, as a big, like, horror and just generally kind of like Silent Hill fan, it was kind of cool to see them try more of, like, a darker, more serious plot. Okay. And also just and Molly was just a really good villain, in my opinion.
Yep, and now for the negatives. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's right. Ash trying to, once again, body check his problem until it goes away.
Yeah.
Can we just agree that Ash needs to stop body checking, or Arceus is going to be really pissed at him?
Oh, yeah.
If he's not already.
Yeah, I think Arceus is kind of already sick of seeing Ash.
Mm-hmm.
And also, yeah, aside from the Ash trying to body check all of his problems,
mm-hmm.
like, also, I did notice a few animation errors with the lip syncing.
Yeah, that's true. And also, Omega, that's not what Poke shipping is. Poke shipping was actually shipping Ash with Misty. It was called Poke shipping much later.
Yeah.
Poke shipping isn't shipping Pokemon.
No, I was gonna say. I think that's what Team Rocket would prefer to do.
Yep. Okay. And so, final thoughts on Pokemon 3. Watch it.
Yeah, it's definitely a very good movie.
Yep. And now on to Pokemon Forever. Oh boy, this is a movie a lot of people do not like. You want to go first with the positives this time, if you can think of any?
Like, I kind of like the legendaries they brought into that movie, Celebi and Suicune.
Yeah.
They kind of focus on, because, like, a lot of them, those two are just really pretty well implemented into the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah. Is that all of your positives?
At least ones I can think of.
Okay, for me, the villain was a really good villain, even if, honestly, an item suddenly making the Pokemon evil, that makes no sense. Unless it suddenly turns them into the dark type, purely because in Japan, the dark typing is actually titled Aku, which does mean evil.
Yeah.
And now for the negatives. Can I go first?
Yeah.
Okay, so number 1, thanks to 4Kids having the subtlety of a sledgehammer to the face, it is so obvious that Sammy is Professor Oak. Thanks, 4Kids.
Yeah, right?
Which, by the way, there were actually apparently 3 different scenes that 4Kids commissioned for this movie, and one of them didn't even need to be because it was pointless.
Oh boy.
Which is basically the scene where Team Rocket effectively go for the peach. That scene was not in the original Japanese. That was one of the 3 scenes 4Kids commissioned, and it was a pointless scene.
Yeah.
Okay, and now for your negatives.
Honestly, it's pretty much the exact same things you said.
And the whole Sammy twist and how thanks to 4Kids having subtlety of a sledgehammer, it's obvious.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Because come on, guys, come on, 4Kids. At least let the kids think for themselves.
Yep, and so final thoughts. You can watch it if you're curious, but otherwise you can skip it. It is not important. Would you agree with that, Sakuya?
Yeah.
Okay, now on to Pokemon Heroes, Latios and Latias. Okay, which of us is going to go first, talking about positives for this movie?
I'm trying to remember much about it.
Okay, then shall I go first?
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, the a friendship between Ash and Latias felt real. It felt legit. It's even if the ending is a bit awkward because we don't know if it was Latias or that girl Bianca that kissed him purely because the hat was in the room, but I think they did that on purpose to keep the mystery going, and it's still not solved to this day. Okay, have you thought of any positives, Sakuya?
Yeah, like, again, this is something I'll have to agree with you on the friendship.
Okay, and now for the negatives. My biggest negative would have to be the villains. They simply start out like wanting the Soul Dew, and then it suddenly turns into, I want to flood the city and take over the world. How did we jump from stealing a treasure to basically mass genocide by water?
Yeah, I was going to say there could have definitely been a better explanation for that.
All right. And you're negative, or do you agree with me on that?
I agree with you on that.
Okay, so final thoughts. It's definitely worth checking out. Just try not to think about it too hard.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Jirachi Wishmaker. Oh, okay, so before we actually begin with the positives and the negatives, I gotta say this. I do not like Max. Like, at all.
Oh, God. I haven't met anyone who does like Max.
Okay, so on to the positives. Do you want to go first? Because I've been going first quite a bit.
Definitely how Jirachi was handled throughout the course of the movie.
Yeah, I agree with that. And for me, the villain. Butler was a great villain with understandable motivations.
Yeah.
But for my negative, I gotta go with making the final boss a Lovecraftian Groudon. That's just, what?
Again, From Software, did you have a hand in this?
And also, again, for my negatives, I gotta point a big finger towards Max. We did not need a movie about Max. Nobody liked him.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
I mean, like, how did essentially an inconsequential NPC in the games get such a focus?
I don't know. And also, Omega, yes, I'm aware. Amy Birnbaum, who was Charmy Bee in Sonic X, was also Max, and that explains so much. Okay, so, final thoughts on Jirachi Wishmaker. It's a good movie for the first movie in Hoenn, but you can skip it if you really cannot tolerate Max.
Yeah. And no one will blame you if you skipped it.
Yeah. Okay, next up we got Destiny Deoxys, another movie that a lot of people seem to really, really dislike. And it seems to boil down to Tori. So, do you want to go first again, or can I go first?
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to get my negative out of the way.
All right.
I have to agree with the fandom with Tori.
Oh, would you care to elaborate?
Maybe I just didn't like Tori as a character.
All right, but do you understand, like, his entire thing about being afraid of Pokemon? I mean, when you think about it, it does make sense.
Yeah, and it's like, it makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, then why even have him on the journey?
Tori's not on the journey. What are you talking about?
Sorry, I must be thinking of something else.
Yeah, no. Tori was the white-haired kid from the movie we're talking about, Destiny Dion. Yeah, that's Tori.
Sorry, my brain just doesn't want a brain.
No, that's okay. And also, hello, Kara, welcome. Okay, so for me, I guess we're starting with the negatives for this movie. For me, it would have to be the CG. The CG is awful. I don't know how we took a step backwards on the CG, but it is really, really bad. And now for some positives. The vocal song for the movie I really like. This Side of Paradise, that is a bop to me.
Oh yeah. Also, that's cool to know, Kara. I'm guessing you got it on the Switch. Who's saying she has Among Us?
Oh yeah, that's right. Among Us was released on the Switch. Okay, so final thoughts. I'd say skip it.
Yeah.
Okay, next, Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. This is one that people tend to be split on. Either you love it or you hate it. I personally just like it. I think it's okay.
Yeah, like, even though, for the positives, Sean Schemmel's performance as Lucario.
Yes!
Sean Schemmel was an amazing Lucario.
Yes, he was. Like, he nailed Lucario's character and mannerisms perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
Even if Jason Griffith was Sir Aaron, but we're going to talk about Jason Griffith later.
Hi, I'm Jason Griffith.
Sakuya, not right now!
Sorry, I had to make that joke.
No, I get it. Okay, so let's see. So, and for my positive, the plot, which is essentially Pikachu gets accidentally kidnapped by Mew, and so Lucario has to lead Ash over to the Tree of Life in order to get Pikachu back. And I also like how the villain didn't really have, or how the movie didn't really have a villain. When you think about it, there really was no villain for the movie.
Actually, I actually kind of had an idea.
What?
To make this a little faster, would you
Yeah?
want to list like one positive, one negative?
Yeah, just to make this go by a little faster. Okay, so let's list a negative, each of us, for Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. For me, the pacing.
Yeah.
Pacing was a little off.
Awkward.
Yep. What's your negative? And also, hello to the Egg Paladin.
Honestly, I'd probably have to say the same thing. It's like it could have definitely been paced better.
Okay, so final thoughts. I'd say definitely check it out.
Oh yeah.
Okay, next up, Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea. So first of all, for my positive, the relationship between May and Manaphy was precious, and it made the ending all the more heartbreaking.
Yeah, like I would definitely have to say like yeah, that's my positive is the fact that it's like it's one of those times where you definitely see a Pokemon feel.
Asakia, can you repeat that? You cut out.
I was saying it's good because you definitely see a Pokemon movie that has some legitimate feels and actually pulls it off.
Yeah, and for my negative, the length. It's like 2 hours and 15 minutes. That is way too long.
And honestly, like with the timing, it's like I don't know. It's like I don't know. Like it felt like with all the content there was, it could have been a little shorter.
Okay, so final thoughts. I'd say definitely watch it if you're a fan of May.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the final Hoenn movie. On to Sinnoh, your home region, Sakuya.
Yep.
Okay, so first up, we've got the Rise of Darkrai. Do you want to start us off? Sakuya, do you want to go first with a positive?
Okay, like, admittedly, this comes from just a slight bias.
All right.
But Darkrai is one of my favorite mythics.
Okay.
Just to focus on Darkrai.
Okay, that's fair. For me, I would have to say the final 20 minutes where Darkrai essentially has a flashback about why the garden is so important and then sacrifices himself. Oh. And now for my negative, how that sacrifice is basically undone right at the very end, and it was not cool.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with the cheapening of the sacrifice at the end.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like that with Ori and the Blind Forest. Like, why? You know, you have this whole plot, and it's like you have this touching, powerful sacrifice, and then you undo it.
Okay.
It's like, then what was the point of the sacrifice?
Okay, so final thoughts. Watch it because it is part of a trilogy.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, and it's still a good movie.
Okay, next up, we've got Giratina and the Sky Warrior. Can I get my negative right out in the front, please, please, please?
Yeah.
Shaman! Fuck off, Shaman! You were irritating!
Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes.
Is Shaman also your negative?
Yep.
Okay, and now for the positives. Giratina is a boss! Seriously, Giratina is awesome. He kicks ass, and I love the design of the reverse world.
Oh, hell yeah. And it's like, it's just like, you know, again, like, it's just has a very good portrayal of Giratina and his powers.
Yeah, which is actually refreshing, since Giratina is supposed to be basically the Satan of the Pokemon world, but we're going to get to the other side of that in just a minute.
Yeah.
So I would say check it out because it is the second movie in a trilogy, but it suffers from middle movie syndrome. Would you agree with that, Sakuya?
Oh, yeah.
All right, and now on to the finale of the trilogy, Arceus and the Jewel of Life.
For my negative, why did you give Arceus such a childish voice?
Yeah, like, Arceus should sound like the burning bush from the Prince of Egypt. He should have a majestic voice. He's God in the Pokemon world.
So again, he shouldn't have a childish voice, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. And as...
I mean, come on. No, I'm expecting a childish voice out of Mikhail, not out of Arceus.
Yep, and for my negative, giving the villain with the Shadow the Hedgehog haircut the voice of Jason Griffith, and he sounds exactly like Shadow. It's... why? Just why? It is so obvious that's Jason Griffith doing his Shadow voice.
Alright.
Are you alright?
Yeah, it's just like...
Was I a bit loud?
No, not loud. It's just the disbelief with the voice choices.
Okay. And now for the positives, Arceus' actions. And his justification for why he's so pissed off, it makes sense.
Yeah, and it's like, and we just get to see this, you know, awesomeness of Pokegod. Also, Hey, Next G, how's it going?
Hey, Next G. Okay, so final thoughts on Arceus and the Jewel of Life. Watch it, and just watch the entire trilogy back to back if you can, just to get it done.
Also, Kara, honestly, a Sonic and Pokemon crossover wouldn't be a bad idea, as long as Sonichu is not involved.
Yeah, no Sonichu.
Sorry, I had to make that joke.
No, that's okay. Okay, next up is the final Sinnoh movie, which was a teaser for Unova, Zoroark, Master of Illusions. Okay, so for me, the positives, Zoroark himself. He is adorable and precious, and I want to protect him.
Yes, yes, he's just...
Is Zoroark also your positive, or do you have another one?
Yeah, just because he is baby.
Yep, okay, and now for the negatives, I would have to say... God, like, I really don't want to say this, but the villain.
Honestly agreed with that.
Yeah, purely because the villain's motivation is so shallow. He basically wants to continue seeing the future, while at the same time he pretends the setting of the movie is being destroyed by the 3 legendary dogs, and it's so stupid. Even if the villain's actions are just
Cringe.
Except for the choking Celebi, that was definitely impactful. It showed you that he was a scumbag.
Oh, yeah.
So for final thoughts, watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and... oh, no. Sakuya, I really don't want to talk about these next few films, and I think you know why.
Yeah. Well, the sooner we get them over with, the better.
Okay, next up is the Victini double feature. For my negatives, I've actually got... Can I list two, just because I have to?
Sure.
Number 1, Iris and Silent, and number 2, the villain, again! And everybody who knows me knows my feelings on Iris and Silent, especially in the dub. Jason Griffith, just fuck off!
Yeah. Also, Silent, get those eyes fixed.
Yeah, seriously, like, Silent is not funny. Silent's not funny. He's boring and he's infuriating.
And he's just obnoxious.
Alright, are those your negatives too, or do you have any more?
Yeah, and for the positives, just how adorable Victini is.
Yes, Victini is a positive.
No. Also, here's my other negative.
Alright.
A lot of those ass pulls where it's like, like, if Ash would have done this without the help of some of those things without the help of Victini, Ash would be dead or in the hospital.
Yes. Yes, and now Victini is definitely a positive. He is so precious and adorable, and it's just, oh my god, I just want to hug him. And also, butt wings! Wings on his butt! So for these two, butt wings! Okay, so I would say skip these two movies. They are not worth watching unless you want to see Victini be adorable.
Yeah.
Next one was actually initially one of my favorites until I rewatched it. Kirem versus the Sword of Justice. Okay, so for my positive, Vic Mignogna's performance as Keldeo was just brilliant.
Oh yeah, and it's like, and seeing Keldeo just go from this like brash kid who can barely hold his own to honestly kind of a badass is just like, it's satisfying. That's my positive.
And for my negative, I'm not going to bring up Iris and Silent again. Everybody's already heard me bitch. My negative would have to be the very end of the movie.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you on that because, like, that's just such a bullshit lesson.
Yep. And also, just a second. From Omega, my another question is why those Pokemon keep using the same voice cast as side characters from past Pokemon shows. Well, unfortunately, it's probably because it's cheaper. That would make sense. And also, 4Kids hasn't actually dubbed Pokemon since Season 8.
And honestly, Kara, I think that's something to ask the Pokemon Company.
Yeah. Okay, so final thoughts on Kirem versus the Sword of Justice. Check it out if you're a Vic Mignogna fan, but again, try not to think about it too hard.
Yeah. And also, I know most of us don't really agree with this theory, but there's also the theory of Ash's coma.
Let's not talk about that. This is not a theory discussion.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll just leave it at that. And that's more of a creepypasta theory, but...
Yep, and next up is... Hang on. Give me just a second.
Let it out.
I am so sorry. But next up is the movie I hated the most before the movie 23 came out. Genesect: The Legend Awakens.
My negative, and I'm sure you'll agree with me on this, the voice they chose for Mewtwo.
Yes, that was awful! Pokemon Company, what were you thinking? And yes, Next G, it is that bad. And
it's like, why couldn't they have just gotten the voice actor from the first?
Or just get Dan Green back, even though this is supposed to be a different Mewtwo. And for my negative, the Genesect themselves. They are such boring and stupid villains.
Yeah, right?
And honestly, this movie has no positives. There is nothing good about this movie. At all.
Honestly, the pacing's bad.
The villains are terrible.
Story's terrible.
The resolution is bullshit. So for this one, just do not watch it. By any means, do not watch it.
Avoid it like the plague.
Yeah. And next up, it's time to talk about the Kalos movies. Yay! Okay.
And we get to introduce, and we get to, like, speak of Death Girl.
Yes. Okay, so first up is the movie that had the spot of my all-time favorite movie for a long time, Diancie and the Kakuna Destruction. Okay, so can I go first with the positives?
Go ahead.
Caitlin Glass's performance as Diancie. It was perfect. She was perfect for that role. It's like this was the role she was meant to play.
Yeah, it's like also for my positive, I honestly just really like the Diancie and just the way she was handled.
As what?
You there?
Yeah, sorry. You like a cutout after you said as. Calm down.
I like the way she was handled as a character.
All right. And now for the negatives. Team Rocket did not need to be in this movie. They did nothing.
No, and it's like they had stupid motives, and it's like it felt like they put Team Rocket in just for the sake of having Team Rocket.
Yeah. So final thoughts. I'd say check out this movie. I definitely enjoyed it, but then again, I'm kind of biased to Kalos.
Well, I mean, to be fair, again, it has the best Pokegirl, so...
Yes, it does. Next up is a movie that a lot of people do not like, Hoopa and the Clash of Ages. And for me, I'm going to start with the negatives. It would have to be Hoopa himself.
Yeah.
He is boring, he is stupid, and his voice is annoying. Granted, the voice is nowhere near as annoying as it was in the initial announcement trailer, but it's still pretty bad.
Yeah, it's like it's like choosing between like a small annoying it's like choosing between a small like paper on fire and a dumpster fire.
Yeah. As for the positive, this is a tough one. Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, and also honestly,
the climax is so stupid, but we're gonna move on.
Yeah, honestly, while it was my least favorite movie in the series, I would definitely have to say some of the humor was pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. And as for my positives, this is a tough one. I would have to say the stakes. The stakes of the movie were pretty good, especially at the end of the movie.
Well, like it definitely did a good job of establishing the stakes.
Yep. And what's your positive, Sakuya?
I kind of already said it.
Oh, fair enough. So for this one,
how long the humor was spot on.
Fair enough. For this one, I'd say check it out if you're curious, but otherwise you can skip it. And now on to Volcanion and the Mechanical Marvel. Okay, so first off, I have to say this. I do like the steampunk aesthetic of the city it takes place in.
Oh, yeah.
And as for my negative, I would have to say Volcanion and his just stereotypical, oh, fuck humans, but I'm gonna trust them by the end of the movie. It's been done, asshole!
Yeah, right?
Yep. Is that your negative too?
Yeah.
Alright, final thoughts. Check it out, it's okay. And also, before we continue, I have to say one thing. Why did none of the movies focus on Serena?
Yeah, right?
Serena wasn't the focus of any of them.
Yeah, and it's like, she could have had a great plot element in the movies.
Yep, okay. And let's see, we're almost finished with the movies. And, oh yeah, this is where the soft reboot began. With the 20th movie, I Choose You. Okay, so for the positives, I do like how they updated the first episode in the prologue. That was nice to see.
Yeah, and it's like, it didn't totally, like, alienate the old fans.
Alright, and as for the negatives, this is going to seem kind of petty, but Pikachu talking.
Yeah, no, Pikachu should not talk.
Even if that's the only time that it happens, it just feels like it comes right the fuck out of nowhere.
And it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So I would say check it out if you're nostalgic, but at the same time you should check it out just because the films after this point are their own continuity. because it's a soft reboot, effectively.
Yeah.
Next up is my favorite, The Power of Us. Okay, so for my positives, everything. Just everything about this movie.
My positive would have to be mainly the return.
The Return of Lugia?
Yeah, the return of Lugia, and just kind of like the whole idea that it's like an ensemble film, and it does the whole like story with no villain really well.
Yeah, and as for a negative, I'd really have to nitpick this, but I would have to say Callahan.
Yeah, I'll agree with you, because, like, why does Callahan even exist?
Yeah, he's my only negative, but even then, that's just a nitpick. This movie is honestly that good.
So, watch it at all costs.
Absolutely. Pokemon the movie, The Power of Us, watch it, enjoy it, love it. And, oh no, next up is the movie we reacted to for Patreon. Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. This movie has no positives. Nothing. It's awful.
No. Okay, again, this might also seem like a petty negative, but why did they omit Brother My Brother?
Yeah, plus unfortunately the movie very strongly sticks to the Japanese script, which means unfortunately all the jokes we loved back in Mewtwo Strikes Back are gone. No Minnesota Vikings, no Chew Stew, all that shit is gone. And it's all the music from the Japanese version.
And they got rid of all the great jokes.
Yeah, which is just, no.
And I'm like, the omission of Brother My Brother just completely takes away the weight of that battle with the clones.
Yeah, pretty much. And also, before I would say do not watch this movie. It's on Netflix, but do not watch it. Watch any other Pokemon movie but this one. It is terrible.
If you really want to watch Mewtwo Strikes Back, just watch Pokemon the first movie.
Yeah, do not watch this CG abomination. Okay, so now, before we go, let's give our wish list for Secret of the Jungle, since that's premiering in Japan on Christmas, and we'll be getting it here probably within a few months. So let's just give a quick wish list. Number 1, please, please, please do not go with the stereotypical Tarzan ending. Please.
Seriously.
And also, make Coco an interesting character. Not like Tomo from the first season. Make him an interesting character.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's like, don't make him like Tomo, who was a throw.
Yeah. And also with the grass dark type mythical we're getting, please make him interesting too. We need another interesting movie advertising Pokemon in the movies. We need another interesting one.
Also, this might be a strange wish.
What's that?
But Pokemon, please give us a Crush 40 in or an outro.
Oh, I don't know if Crush 40 will do that. However, then again, for the Japanese version of A Power of Us, they got porno graffiti, so you never know.
Yeah, so it's like Crush 40 could work.
Yeah, that's true. They could work in a Pokemon movie. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sorry there was a lot of yelling and screaming. I am so sorry about that, but this was fun to do.
To be fair, we're Pokemon fangirls.
Yeah, we...
I mean, like, we're Pokemon fangirls. At least we didn't throw tantrums over things we didn't like.
Yep, even if, honestly, I did have to yell into a pillow over Genesect The Legend of Awakens. That movie is so bad.
I mean, I'd rather have that than you screaming at the top of your lungs in the video.
Yeah, that's true. Even if my microphone, I think, did catch me screaming. Did the microphone catch me screaming into the pillow?
Yeah, I did kind of hear a muffled scream, like that.
Yeah, like, I actually grabbed a pillow and screamed into it purely because I didn't want to scare the audience. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this. on this. We're still figuring out like everything in regards to channel layout, but we are going to be doing more voice acting stuff. We just need a little more time, especially since I got a new video editing program. So we just need some time.
Yeah, and we're still getting the hang of all that.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
for the final,
you were saying you got cut off.
I was saying because we're also just waiting for the final thing with Ghost of the Future, so that should be coming out soon.
Yeah, plus Eternal Blackout, we do have to continue that, but we'll probably work on that in January because like it's the holidays.
Yeah, it's like we're just taking some time off.
Yep. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, and we'll see all of you next time. Bye-bye.
Deuces.